In all the names of history, few shake the world as much as the name Napoleon. Napoleon Bonaparte not only shook all of Europe with his armies, but with his ideas, and in many ways brought Europe into the modern age. But the House of Bonaparte did not disappear upon his exile and death on St. Helena. When Napoleon was defeated at the Battle of Waterloo on 18 June 1815, he was forced to abdicate, and his 4-year-old son, Napoleon Francis Joseph Charles, became the titular Emperor of France, Napoleon II. But the coalition that had defeated his father refused to accept a Bonaparte on the throne, and he was forced into exile. He lived in Austria and chose a military career, but Napoleon's heir died childless of tuberculosis at the age of 21. But the House of Bonaparte survived, and Napoleon II's 23-year-old cousin, Charles Louis Napoleon Bonaparte, the son of Napoleon Bonaparte's younger brother Louis, took up the mantle. After the French Revolution of 1848, he was seen as a champion of the people, and the name Napoleon still carried weight. Louis Napoleon was elected to the National Assembly, and in December of 1848 was elected the first president of the Second French Republic, in the nation's first election of its leader by popular vote. Barred by the French Assembly from running for a second term, he organized a coup d'etat in 1851 and proclaimed himself Emperor of the Second French Empire. Emperor Napoleon III, while seemingly not nearly as well known as his uncle, was the longest-serving French head of state since the French Revolution. When in 1870 his empire went to war with Prussia, his son, Louis Napoleon, the Prince Imperial, was just 14 years old. A sub-lieutenant in the French army, he joined his father on campaign. But as the war shifted against France, his father sent him to the border with Belgium. When Napoleon III was defeated and captured by the Prussian army at the Battle of Sedan, his empire was overthrown. The Prince Imperial and his mother went into exile in England, followed by the emperor himself after a brief captivity in Prussia. His health declined, and Napoleon III died of pneumonia in January of 1873. It is an odd twist of history that the Prince Imperial found refuge with his great-uncle's great rival. Louis Napoleon attended King's College, London, and then the Royal Military Academy at Woolwich, and served with the Royal Artillery. But the Bonapartists survived in France, and they retained hopes of returning the family to the throne with the handsome, intelligent Prince Imperial. Among his most surprising supporters was the Queen of England. Victoria had been critical of Napoleon III and opposed the restoration of the empire in 1851, but in 1874 confided in Napoleon III's widow that placing the Prince Imperial on the throne of France would be best for the peace of Europe. It was not to be. The prince, a British army officer, died on June 1, 1879, a casualty of the British war with the Zulu kingdom. The hopes of restoring imperial France died with the Prince Imperial in a field in South Africa, wearing a British uniform. The tomb of the great-nephew of Napoleon Bonaparte is not in France, but in a Benedictine abbey in Hampshire.